This is Nick Kasayan, CEO, Light Helmets, and this is Season 2, Episode 8, Light Impact, our podcast. I've got two stallions from San Diego State University, Joe Borjon. Did I say that correctly after practicing 50 times?
Definitely did, yep.
There's another pronunciation, though, right?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Borjon.
Borjon.
Yep.
See, now I got it right. And my friend Deshawn
McCuin.
Yeah. You think I would have gotten that right? I've known you for a long time. So Deshawn's been with us this will be the second year. San Diego State plays safety.
Yes. And
my other friend here, Joe, playing right tackle, right? So these guys have been wearing light helmets 2 years, 1 year. We're here not necessarily to talk about helmets, but life in general, football. You know, you guys are high-performing folks. Like, people want to know, how do I get there? You got all of these kids chasing the dollar, right? So we're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff today. So I always want to start, like, where'd you grow up? What was your family like?
Grew up in La Puente, California. I got two brothers, one younger brother who's committed to San Diego State, and then one older brother who's working security right now, and then both parents. So
very cool. Right. And what other sports did you play?
I played baseball mostly my whole life growing up, and then basketball a little bit here and there.
And what was the draw to football over and above basketball and baseball?
Just figuring out, like, how to use my size, and I can overwhelm people. So I think that was great.
Dude, all I could think of is tight end when you came in, and then I was like, it's going to make his job tough in practice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How about you? What's the story? Family? Where are you from?
Yeah, so I grew up in Jacksonville, Texas, a small town in East Texas. Grew up with both of my parents. I have a younger brother. Plays at UTSA now. He's a receiver. And I have another younger brother. He's working in the East Texas area.
Cool. Very good. And then what other sports did you play?
I played it all. Played football, obviously, basketball, track, baseball. So
is football the favorite, or were you just better at football than the other?
I think I was just a lot better at football than I was basketball. I think basketball was my first love. That's the first sport I got into when I was younger.
Yep.
And so then I got into football a little later.
And you still hoop it up at all, like pickups or anything else?
Oh yeah, I love to do some pickups, especially back at home.
How often you get back to Texas?
Not as often as I would like, but when I do go, it's a good time, especially being back with some old family and friends.
Mm-hmm. And when did you guys? I mean, so in practice, for people that don't know, the offense and the defense, you guys don't spend a ton of time together, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even on field, you guys are parsed apart, like. You know, when John F. Kennedy was still alive and I played, like, the offense and defense totally separate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some interaction.
Yeah.
You know the drill. So as a kid, like, when did you know that, hey, I'm pretty good. I got a shot to play at, like, a D1 school? Like, when did you figure it out? Were you a freshman? Were you a senior?
I was, I think I was a sophomore going into my junior year. I was working out pretty heavily, and we had this big hill at my high school, and I was running that almost 10 times almost every day, you know, trying to get my speed right to be able to play at the D1 level. And I was playing quarterback at the time, and I started to see myself flourish above all the other competition. And then once I got into my junior year, I had a good junior year, and then going into senior year, that's when I started seeing offers and stuff. So
were you playing both ways?
I was.
That's tough as a quarterback.
Yeah.
You're getting dinged around a little bit, and then you got to totally change the mindset, you know, take the emotion out of it and get back on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other positions have you always played safety since you've been here?
So I just started playing safety. So when I got into college is when I started playing safety. I was playing really quarterback, running back, receiver, and then I was playing corner and then a little bit of safety my senior year.
I see two sport all over you.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, going both ways.
Oh yeah, I see it too.
They probably need you.
I've been praising. I've been wanting that for a long time ever since I got to San Diego State. Lucky's different, man. He's a big human being to play that running back position, and he's doing a great job right now.
So he was a senior when my kid was a freshman at Cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the state open championship or the quarterfinals, and I think he ran for like 7 touchdowns and like 485 yards.
I bet.
And I mean, that's not bad. I mean, California, Texas, like probably in Florida, although after Modern Day beat the Florida team, nobody from Florida hopefully is watching this.
Yeah,
they're going to be pissed off. But and then how about you? When did you know, like, all right, I got it. I got the size. I got the footwork.
Well, I was a baseball kid growing up, so I didn't start playing. I grew up playing football in a Snoop League, and then after that, I didn't play again until my junior year of high school. So going in there, I was still a little raw, and then my senior year, I found out like this is a sport I want to do. I want to play football. I want to grow from this. So I went to JUCO after high school, and then from there, I got offers from JUCO, being a freshman All-American and everything. So that really stood out.
And what was the thing at San Diego State that what got you over and above wherever else you could have gone?
The culture and Coach Smith, the O-line coach, he's put 9 guys in the league in the last 10 years, so it stood out to me.
Yeah. Not the worst place to live either.
Exactly. Great weather. The Mesa's beautiful and everything. So
yeah, good. I think great decision. How about you in terms of like what other options did you have and what got you to San Diego State?
So I was at TCU before this. I was at TCU for 4 years and graduated with my bachelor's over there, and that was my dream school coming out of college. So I mean, coming out of high school. So that was everything to me, everything to my family. And then I had an injury, got in the transfer portal, and I had an old coach that recruited me out of high school. He was at Texas State previously, and then he was at San Diego State. So I reached out to him and took a visit, and it was everything I was looking for. So it wasn't too hard to make that decision.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Who, as a kid, like, and I'm talking high school, like, had the biggest impact on you? Was it family member? Was it a coach? Was it a sibling? Somebody else? Who like, when you look back, if somebody right now you had to pick one person, and I know that's a tough question, that really got you like over the hump through the tough times?
I'd probably say my dad. You know, he was always getting us stuff like supplies, like cones, ladders, and basketballs, and we would pop them, or they get ran over in the driveway. Footballs, all that sorts of stuff. And ever since we were playing all these sports, it was tough to do, and because we were traveling a lot. So I played AAU basketball, and we were traveling across the state, and so he did a lot, and he was working for the railroad. He works for Union Pacific, and for him to come to my games and give us all the supplies, and then also like come to our games and support us, and then be an amazing dad. So I look up to him.
That's
sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And blessed to have such a great dad, right? Like my dad didn't miss any of my games, right? And I got stuffed after like 2 years of D3 football.
Yeah.
But the reality is, knowing somebody's there for you, it's kind of cool, right? And then when you're a kid, you're riding home with them. You had a good day, you had a bad day, you have those conversations, and it's great having the same person because they were kind of riding with you through all of it. How about you? Who was the big influence?
I'd say my dad and my grandpa, because they both pushed me to keep going, and he was always on my game. So I know he's not the type to just like, I say, comfort and cuddle someone. Like if he had a bad game, he gonna be like, oh, it's all right, at least you had fun. No, it's you're gonna hear it on the ride home. So like to get that extra, like, you want a dessert after the game, or you want to go get something nice, you better have a good game. Like you got to go.
There was a stick in the carrot.
Exactly.
Yeah, and to perform at a high level, right? You have to constantly, like, you guys are at a place where there's nowhere to hide. Like even in practice, you're getting videoed the whole time, right?
Exactly.
And in the game, you're sitting amongst your buddies, and if you're dogging it, and all of a sudden the guy breaks the tackle and you're not there, or hey, you don't get a guy at least a hand on him when on a corner blitz or something like that, you're gonna get sniped. So it's good that dads are setting you up in that mindset to be evaluated. I had a kid come in today, actually Clayton, the guy that runs our podcast, had one young kids they played hockey with came in, and he's like, with the newest generation, like, what do you think's the toughest thing? And I'm like, man, you got to be durable. Like, you got to be able to take feedback and not break down and whine and cry, because there's none of that at the level of football you guys are playing at. You got to take it as it comes in. Before you got to where you're at today, what was the hardest thing? Like, did you ever get to a point where you thought you were going to quit? Whether it was a social thing, whether it was a school thing, whether it was a sports thing, injury?
I said injury last year. I tore my ACL, my MCL, my MPFL, and my meniscus, and that was a tough injury coming back from. It took me about 8 months to get back on the field.
Wow.
So.
Yep. And did you get rolled up on, or what happened?
Got rolled up on first game, 30 seconds left before the half ended, and it was my first game at San Diego State, coming back home, about 2 hours away from home, so I call this home. So that was a tough one.
That's a tough rehab. Like going through that, did you think at any point like, yeah, I don't know if it's worth it?
Definitely. I only have a couple years left, and then I thought back to like I got a younger brother who's playing football right now. He's looking up to somebody my dad always calls, and he goes, "Hey, he's trying to be better than you. He's saying he's already passed you in high school and everything. He's got an offer. I didn't get no O's in high school, so he was like, he's getting past you. You gonna let him keep going?" And my whole family's competitive, so couldn't let that happen.
Yeah, hey, you know what? There's a culture in every locker room. There's a culture in the family. Sometimes it's different, right? Mm-hmm. But it worked, and it got you through it, right? And when you go through it and you get done, I think you remember you're done, but you don't remember all the painful and misery.
Exactly.
Right? If somebody like you look at a text message that you sent during that, then you can remember, but it's almost like it gets put in a black box that you don't think of, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody goes through this stuff, and people that are watching this or listening to this, like a lot of times I look at you guys and say, man, they're playing at a D1 school. Like, how lucky are you? And I mean, luck to me is a bunch of good decisions and hard work, and you're ready for the opportunity. How about you? Was there a time where you were like, you're getting picked on when you're a kid, or you're injured, or you're like, man, I don't know if I can do it? Like, did you ever get to that point?
Yeah, I think like 2 or 3 years ago, I had a really big surgery on my left quad. Ended up having compartment syndrome. It was the first game I started at TCU.
Is that an infection?
So it's like blood clotting. And so I was bleeding out internally and really didn't know. So this is my first game starting at TCU. It was literally like 3 or 4 seconds left in the half. And I got an interception. I got kneed by a receiver, popular name, Rasheed Rice. And he kneed me pretty good. And so I really got up and celebrated. Walked up the stairs, up into the tunnel, and back into the locker room, and figured out that I couldn't really bend my knee. And so ended up having to have 4 surgeries on this one leg.
Wow.
And, bleeding out internally, I lost a lot of blood. And so, I'm very blessed to be here today. And so when I got, out of those surgeries and was thinking about life and thinking about where I'm going to go from this, it was really tough for me and my family, because my mom doesn't really like the fact that I play football. So that was that surgery, like the surgery and that injury was pretty easy for her. Like, hey, you probably need to, hang it up. And like Joe said, like I have a younger brother that looks up to me, and I didn't want to set that example of it's okay to quit when things get hard. So the reason I kept going was because of my little brother.
That's pretty cool. So when that injury happened, did like this training staff catch it that you were bleeding big inside, or how long did it take them to figure that out?
Yeah, so my quad was 2 times as big as this one, just relaxing. Like it was as hard as if I was, flexing my leg. And I get into the training room, they try to drain it with this huge syringe needle, and they got some blood out, but it was still pretty heavily. And it was like, go home, and if it gets worse, then, go to the hospital. And I have a huge family friend that's a nurse, and I took my socks off, and my left foot was white at the bottom. So, and she knew that I was losing blood, and so had to get to the hospital like really quick. And that was during COVID, so the only person that could be in there was my mom. And so it was even hard just to get in there, and then it took 45 minutes for a doctor to really come and see me, and then, I had to get an MRI and X-ray, and
they operate right away
and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Wow. 4 operations on that. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. When you look at kids that you played with, let's say in high school, is there a kid, and we don't need to use a kid specific name, but you get these kids that are like ultra talented, right? And then they kind of wash out. What do you think causes that? Is it a parent thing? Is it that kid just gets burned out? Is it a coach thing? Like when you look back and you see people, because I always like, hey, how did you make it? Like perseverance, your dad motivated you. You didn't want to fail in front of your younger brother. But when you see somebody wash out, like, why do you think people fail? Why don't they get there?
I think it's just the environment those people are around. Like I think like the family environment is huge for a child's success. Growing up, you have to grow up around success to be successful, in my opinion. And some of those kids that were great athletes didn't have the best background growing up, and it was hard for them to be consistent and like you said, stay durable, when things got tough. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think that was the biggest thing. Yeah.
As good observation, I'm going to ask you the same thing, and I got a comment after this, but to go back to your piece. Yeah. But what do you think? I mean, when guys wash, what do you think causes it?
I think it's more or less like them being so good in that high school environment, going to the next level, thinking they're going to be that good at that spot with thinking the same talent is high school.
Right.
Once you go to the D1 level, everybody's that good. Like, you're not going to – coming from JUCO to D1, I thought it was going to be like, I'm a freshman All-American. I could go do this against D1 and everything, and it's that guy's just as good as you are. That's like an all-star team basically once you get D1.
Yep.
And once you get to the league, it's like now you got to be locked in because that guy paid the same amount you are. It's crazy. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that increased competition, right? It just keeps getting refined. I mean, you at TCU playing and going through this. So we had a lot of like retired Navy SEALs, active duty Navy SEALs, astronauts, fighter jet pilots, business guys, retired NFL guys. And a lot of times, probably more than half, I would think, of the people we've had in our dads, right? So you ask the dad, like, what do you think? So to ask kids, and I mean, you guys are kids because you're way younger than I am, right? But for you to say the family environment, so anybody watching this, because, you know, is a 13-year-old kid watching this? Probably not, but a dad is. And, you know, you guys both, when I asked you that question, who the big influence was, it was a family. And you hit it on the head too. I think you're a product of like the 5 or 6 people you hang around the most, whether it's family, coach, your buddies, whatever. And you may have one person come in that's a little bit toxic once in a while, but if you leave them in there or your parents aren't helping you push through those decisions, now you guys are old enough now to obviously make all those decisions on your own, but I think it's a big deal. And your comment on like happiness is a function of expectation, right? If I show up and I know it's going to be a grind and I know everybody's going to be as good as I am and I'm ready and I prepared so that I'm at 100 of what I can be on a scale of 100, I'm ready to go. But if I think I'm going to kick some ass and I show up and I'm an 80, I'm not as good as shape. I'm not as strong. I haven't been going to the gym. I haven't been watching my film, whatever. The farther you go up the food chain, and then what? You're miserable because you left it on the table and you can't go up and go back and clean that up. So like this year, last year, in terms of the team, you guys had some struggles last year. You had some good games. You had some tough games. How do you see yourself as a teammate, as a leader, in getting guys through rough spots?
I take that position like really seriously. You know, a lot of people go through stuff, not just football wise, but back at home. So like being that leader and being that great teammate, and you know, in the end, being like a great friend to some of these people. And I have a lot of teammates that, you know, they go through stuff just like I do.
Yep.
And to be there for them and be that leader not only makes me feel good, but it also helps the team in the standpoint of having that camaraderie and having that, you know, that fellowship with your teammates. So.
Yeah. I mean, all of us, even I'm an old dude, right? And you still go through challenging things. It can be business, family, kids, health, finance, all these different things. I tell people, hey, you got 4 components of health. You got your physical health, right? When your leg was jacked up or you had pre-op, that's your focus. If you can't get through that, you can't play. You can't chase the dream that's been your dream, and you're still kind of stuck because that's what you're chasing, right?
Exactly.
So you're all queued up for it. So you get physical health, mental health, because it's easy to get off track. Girlfriend, money, grades, problems. You make a mistake, do something boneheaded off the field, right? Any of this stuff comes up. Then you got financial health because that's stressful. And, you know, you guys are playing D1, but it's not like it's raining money, right? I mean, you got to spend in, you know, concert with what's coming in, what you have access to. And you're like, we all know the dude that goes out and buys a super expensive car. Then he's stressed, right? And then he can't, and then you get off track. You're not focused on your work. And then relationship health, you know, whether it's a chick, whether it's family or anything else. So, I mean, I've seen it all, and guess what? I've done it all, and I fucked it all up myself too. So, you know, it happens. Now, when you look at where you're playing now, the portal and NIL and all this crazy stuff, because you guys have been at it for a while, what do you think about all of this? Because people that are watching, they're like, oh, these guys are D1 guys. They're driving fucking G-Wagons, and, you know, you got the drip and hey, there's some of that, right? If you're at SEC school, and it's not like there's no opportunities, but you guys are at a D1 school that's super competitive, but you were playing and you were in high school before any of that stuff started, and you guys are in the middle of it. So I want to get your opinions. What do you think about the portal, and what do you think about the whole NIL thing?
I think NIL should be, if you want to transfer, I think there should be a buyout if you sign a big deal. I think you should be able to, like, if coaches leave, okay, I understand that you can transfer. But I think if coaching staff is still there, they're paying you a lot of money, I think you got to enter like a buyout phase so that you're not just getting paid and leaving just for the money.
Yep.
And I also think that, I mean, NIL is good for me. I get to help my family back home and everything, help my little brother out, get him some nice gear and everything. So I think it's good.
Yep. No, I mean, I'm getting to you. Don't worry, because I know you've been thinking about this. But the reality is, the schools are making a lot of money for a long time, right?
Exactly.
And the schools, they build the stadiums, they pay for the gear, they pay for the coaches, they got to pay the insurance, travel, I get all that. But at the same point, you know, I don't know what the percentage is. I think 4% of high school players play in college, and then it's probably even a smaller percentage from college to the NFL.
Less than 1.
Yeah, less than 1%. So, you know, people don't realize that you guys are in the facility, you know, 40, 50, 60 hours. And you get beat up, and you're going to school almost in addition to playing football, right? Like, and you can get tutors, and there's a place to eat, and you get some cool swag and things like that. But, you know, somebody falls down at their house, and people talk about it like for a month. Oh, I fell down, right? I mean, you're getting your ass beat. You're lifting. You're waking up at 5 a.m. You can't go out and, you know, cause trouble. Like when I was young, there were no camera phones. There was no social media. Yeah. So it was just a rumor. So unless the police caught you or your girlfriend caught you, like there was no trouble. You guys can't get away with anything. So there's a lot of constraints and requirements. And I think that players should make money, and I'm glad that they do. But I struggle when somebody's getting a big dollar amount, they show up, and then other guys are like, oh, I'm going there because I'm a Z or I'm a Y, and that quarterback's there, and then the guy transfers, and now what am I going to do, right? The coach is there, but now I'm playing with a guy that's been there for 4 years. That's a sociology major, right? Like, exactly. He might be a nice guy, but so I agree with you. I don't know if there's a contract or there's a buyout, or it goes back to the old days where, hey, you can transfer, but you got to skip or something. There's got to be some tether, so you're not, because otherwise it's just like NFL free agency every day, right? No. So what do you think on the NIL front and the portal front?
As far as the portal is concerned, I think it's good. I think the rules should change in terms of it being like you can transfer whenever, wherever. It just causes too much controversy, in my opinion. And with NIL, I think it's great. Like for me, like I get to help my mom out. Like Joe said, I get to help my little brother out every now and then. But the NIL space is getting so big now, and I think football is a very hard sport to play, and play it at a high level. Like you said, wake up at 5 a.m, get beat up every day. Like that's not something that everybody can do. So like I do agree with that standpoint, but I think there should be like limitations on it, because some of these players are, making more money than NFL players. And so sometimes I think there should be, like a stop to it. Because sometimes I think like Oregon said that they have like unlimited NIL money. And so like they're giving their players millions. And I think it's good for those players to make millions because they've earned it. Like from getting to like Pop Warner to high school to college, like that's a huge step. But I think that it just comes to a point to where like, am I giving this player way too much money? Because at one point you're going to start losing love of the game, and then you're going to love the money that's given to you.
That's right. Yeah. It's funny because you'll see some of these guys, like, the rumor what Archman he makes, or this guy or that guy. I know when I was 20 years old, if somebody was writing me a check for like $3, $4, $5, $6 million, bad things would have happened, right? I mean, I would have had fun for maybe a few months, and then I would have had some like dried up Lamborghini and all kinds of speeding tickets, and probably gotten some other trouble. But that's the thing, is like I look at it and say, hey, depending on where you live, you can keep all of it, but over a certain amount, it should get like deferred, where you don't pay tax on it. It goes in a fund, and then the university matches it up if you graduate or whatever, right? You go into the league early. Yeah. There's got to be some way, because you got one guy who's making 15 or 20 grand. Then you got another guy that's making $9 million. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're playing quarterback at XYZ University. But if that guy doesn't have a good family, like you guys have, your family's on you, right? I mean, they've taught you, but they're also around. But there's other people. If you give somebody $8 million, they don't know what to do with it. And then the people around them are trying to get that money. And then you got people with bad intentions and all these other things. So yeah, I agree with you there. Do you think that it makes the game or better or worse? Because I look at it as head coaches used to be recruiters, and now they're retention specialists. They got to try to keep you there with the culture. And you got the school paying, you got the collective paying, and then you got companies paying, right? So do you think teams are better and football's better right now or worse than it was, say, 5 years ago? College football.
That's a great question. I wouldn't say worse, but I definitely think it has declined. Like 5 years ago, who was playing 5 years ago in college football?
Like Herbert.
Yeah, like those guys, they you can tell that they really, really love the game because of not what it could give them, but just because they love the game. And I think now, with you getting so much money, it boosts your confidence, look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's still supposed to be a sport that you're supposed to love to play.
Yeah.
And I think some of the athletes now are loving to play because they're loving the money that's given to them. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think the same thing. It's like I miss the old days when, you think of San Diego State, you think of old-time football where it's the Mountain West, but that team's coming through, and you have the 2016 team, 2018 team where it's stand out. They're beating UCLA and everybody ranked teams.
Yep.
And you have those developmental programs and everything, which are rare now because you have these top schools taking those players from FBS, smaller FBS schools, and taking them to the SEC and everything, and the developmental's gone.
Yeah.
So I think I miss players staying, developmenting, and going on to the next level.
I agree with both of you guys. I think if you got, what's the roster now, 105?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
105. I mean, it was 80 or 70 some before, because now the scouts part of the deal. But if you have a team that's playing together and you guys come in as freshmen or sophomore and you play 3-4 years together, add a scout year on there, you're pretty tight by the time you're done. But if 2/3 of the guys are transferring in and out and you got different players, there's no way that you're going to have the same energy, leadership off the field. All of that stuff is just a little bit harder, right? Because you got new guys there all the time.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it's been diluted a little bit. And, the NFL is a whole different animal. So what's your aspiration? I mean, what you're getting to where you're going to have to start looking to the next chapter. What's the next chapter for you?
This is my last year of eligibility. Continue to, sharpen my blade and continue to go on with the season. So my goal is to eventually get to the NFL and play pro ball. But if not, I really want to work with kids. I think that's my passion. So when I go home, I end up talking to elementary schools and stuff like that. And, I actually find joy in doing that. I know a lot of people don't like kids, but I love working with kids and, seeing that smile on their face at such a young age because they really don't know a whole lot. And just to see them grow and to see them build and to see them find themselves is really my passion. So
see, would you coach, would you teach, what would you do, or both?
So I got my master's in educational counseling, so I could either counsel kids and help kids get through stuff at home or schoolwork or anything like that, or probably coach.
Yeah, that's good. I like that too. It's you guys to me are big kids, right? Still, but I'm an old guy. I'm 57 years old, right? I mean, I got kids that are your guys' age. When I was your age, the last thing I wanted to do probably was spend kids. So it just shows that you're a better guy than I was and probably am. How about you? What's your next chapter?
So this year I'll decide if I want to go to the league or not. If not, I stay one more year with aspirations to go to the NFL. And if that doesn't work out, then I'll go to coaching, the coaching route, hopefully go back home, be around kids, develop them, and show what happened through my route.
Sure, what you learned.
Yeah. Go from there.
Do you, let's say you're going to go through each because it's a little different because you guys play different positions. But for you, so you're going to chase it into the league. Is there a specific trainer that you get, or is it a position coach? Do you have to move somewhere? Do you have to go live someplace for 6 months? Like, or do you stay at the U and you wait to get approached and then agency helps you? Like, how does that whole thing work?
So going into like the draft process?
Yeah.
So like where I train?
But even being ready, so where you're ready to
So
go.
I go back home and I go to Proactive Sports and I go train over there for when I go home, like let's say spring ball's over, I'll go train over there for a couple of weeks. Fall camp's over, after season, I'm over there training that way to get ready for season.
Yeah. And the university doesn't care as long as you're showing up and you're in shape where you're training or anything else? And how about you? Is there a specific, like, hey, I'm playing safety or I'm a defensive back that I'm going to go and work with these guys in the off season? How does that work?
So I've been training at a facility called APEC in Tyler, Texas, where I'm from. And I've been doing that ever since I was probably like a freshman in high school. And so I go over there every time, like he said, like when I go back home and train and get ready for whether it's fall camp or spring ball. So
if you were talking to, let's say, a junior in high school right now, a version of you, but a junior in high school, and they wanted to play at the D1 level, what would your advice be to them?
Oh, man, stay consistent. Stay in your books. Like I think a lot of kids take advantage of how important school is, because you see a lot of these kids that have to go JUCO because of their grades, and they have incredible talent, and majority of the time it's because of grades. So I would say stay consistent. Like whether you're practicing grade or like stay like we have this saying in our on our team, it's like be consistently good, not occasionally great, and I would definitely teach those kids that. Yeah. So like a junior in high school, that would probably be the first thing I say to them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think it's a great thing will determine, unless you're a 20-year-old senior, right, and somebody's going to pull you into the SEC to play a certain position. It's tough. I mean, as a big, like, how old are you?
Right now?
Right now,
23.
So you get an 18 or 19-year-old kid, right? Like, you got to be prepped and ready to go because you're playing, like, against a full-grown guy, right? I mean,
it's a man on the other side of the ball.
100%. Like my kid played at Cathedral, and he shows up at Utah, and there's no linemen that are not 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 years old. You show up, you're like 17 years old. It's like,
especially junior college, you got 30-year-olds, 32-year-olds. I went JUCO. There's some old man on that team. Yo.
And how about you? Like, if you were talking to a young version of you, whether it was your take your brother out of it, but like just somebody that you didn't have a relationship with, and they said, hey, what should I do? What do I need to focus on? What do I need to avoid?
Grades and avoid the outside noise, because there's always outside noise telling you what you should be doing. Like if you're not from a big town where players go and everything, say like Mater Dei, you go to school at Mater Dei, you're expected to go to the D1 level. You go to school where I went, Nogales High School, you just expected to just graduate and that's about it. You're not expected to go and play at the D1 level. So I'd say avoid that outside noise and prove that you can do it and be the one that gets out of there so that you could put the city on and everything.
Yep.
I'd say grades, because some coaches go down. If you're a 3-star kid with 3.4 GPA, 3.5 GPA, they'll take you over 4-star kid with a 2.5 because they're not going to have to worry about you going to class and getting all these grades. So
that's a great point. When you, right where you are now, if you had to pick something that scares you the most, what is it?
I think being complacent. I think once you get to a level where you know you're doing a great job and everything, and you're one of the better players in the West, I think it's being complacent and knowing that, like, you're okay with just being, like he said, don't be just occasionally great, be consistently good.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, that consistency, because that's what somebody wants. That's what a coach wants, right? Yeah. That's what somebody wants. If you're in a relationship, somebody that, hey, works at this place, like, you can do something fantastic one day, and we've got some people that are in involved in the company at different, and they can do some crazy good things. But if the other 6 days a week, you're not getting it done, I mean, it just doesn't work, right? How about you? What scares you the most?
I think me being in this last year of like my college eligibility is like the uncertainty of like getting to the next chapter of my life. Like I've seen a lot of great players in college be busts and not even get to the NFL. And then they go into this rabbit hole of, not making great choices, and then people end up homeless, people end up broke and stuff like that. So I'm making the right choices and stuff like that, don't get me wrong, but I think just the uncertainty of getting to the next chapter of my life, which is pretty much going to be the rest of my life. So I think just the uncertainty of what's going to occur in the future.
I think that's fair, right? So, like, we've had a bunch of military guys in here, like special operations guys, MARSOC guys, SEALs, Ranger, Delta Force. You guys have a camaraderie with your guys, right? Yeah. Like all the O-line guys are together, you and your guys are together, D-backs are all together. Everybody, you all think the same way. You all see everything the same way, right? You're in the same school. You show up at the same place. You're probably eating at the same place, hanging out with the same people, right? You get out, and that transition is like my mission of, hey, we're playing so-and-so this week. It's not there. The bros are gone because they're scattered around. Now you're with regular people that aren't waking up, or they couldn't wake up, or they won't wake up at 5 a.m. to grind it out, right? They're not going to play hurt. They're going to be the first one whining that their leg hurts as opposed to somebody, their aunt forcing them to go, right? And then it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do? I kind of get lost, right? And transition for people is tough. And it can be somebody out of a work environment, but NFL guys coming out, it's tough transition. Like, what are you going to do next? You going to go in the booth, or you going to go home and ruminate on what you used to be able to do?
Exactly.
When I stopped racing, it was tough because I would get that dopamine hit from going and you're competing against the best, and hey, there was a science to it. But also, hey, you were somebody when all those people came to the event to watch a race. When you guys walk out on Friday, like that buzz, you can't recreate that when you're 57 years old. You can't. We play in some old-ass man flag football league, and that's better than what most people can do but you go to the league and you'll have that.
Yep.
But you miss that. You miss walking out there. You miss that halftime, man, we're down by 6. What are we going to do? And you're getting beat up, and then you can feel the momentum swing the other way. Like, how do you fill that gap? And if I look at you guys, that's knowing what I know now. The rest of life is wonderful, but being able to recreate that buzz is tough. So, next quick chapter or items to talk about is like, who's your team in the NFL? Like, what do you watch? Who do you respect? Like, who do you like? Yeah, that's the guy. Like,
me being from Texas, I've always grown up to be a Cowboys fan. My dad's a diehard Cowboys fan. Shout out to him. Just growing up, like I'm older than Joe, so I'm 24, and so I grew up watching Tony Romo, Marion Barber, Terrell Owens, those type of guys. So like, seeing them made me want to play football a lot more. Like when I was playing running back in Pop Warner, I wore number 24 because of Marion Barber. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dante Fowler Jr. wearing our helmet on the Cowboys right now. They gave the Packers a good run last week.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty good. That was a pretty crazy game.
I've never seen a tie before.
Man, I think I've seen maybe one or two, but Romo is a business partner of you guys, right? So, his kids wear the helmet, but I would say, did he go to Northern Illinois, Eastern Illinois? But
I can't remember.
He was a talented guy, right?
Yeah.
But they just couldn't quite get over the edge. And I mean, I grew up, and I'm way older than you guys. Like I don't know if you watched it, America's Team thing on Netflix about the Cowboys, but I think if they wouldn't have got Jimmy Johnson, gotten rid of him, they would have won 5 Super Bowls or 6 Super Bowls in that period. That would have been like the Patriots before the Patriots, right? And that energy, coaching, obviously, you love your coach. We're not going to talk necessarily about San Diego State coach. I love you, coach, but because I'm going to see him on Friday. When you look back, do you have a coach that sticks out in your mind that really made a difference for you?
I had a couple, like especially like doing Pop Warner and getting to middle school and high school. I actually have cousins that were my coaches in high school, and so they were the biggest impact because they've been to the D1 level.
Sure.
And they gave me a lot of tips and pointers on how to get to that level and like staying consistent and stuff like that. So both of the last names, Coach Kennedy. So Randall and Kenny, shout out to them.
Nice. Well, we're going to send them a link so they get their props.
Yeah.
How about you? What's your NFL team?
Chargers.
Yep. Let's go, baby.
So, yeah.
So tell me the story on that. Was it a family thing or you just
So my families are huge Pittsburgh Steelers fans. So I grew up liking the Steelers, but my first ever game going to was the Chargers, and they played the Panthers that day. I think they lost to Cam Newton, but Chargers ever since. And my favorite player will probably be Keenan Allen. Worked out with him once. That man works out different. He comes in, gets to work, hard worker. Just puts his head down. Always wearing all the Kobe stuff, Kobe shoes, Kobe shirt, Kobe shorts, everything. Yeah.
It's a hard-working dude.
Yep.
Who's your Super Bowl pick this year? What do you think?
I ain't even thought about that. Let's get Joe first.
Chargers
been
running good with Jim Harbaugh.
Last week was tough.
Yep.
But that's going to happen, right? I mean,
exactly.
For a team to run the table, ain't going to happen. You go back and look at, like, I think the greatest team of all time, and you guys weren't even a thought at the time, 85 Bears. And I'm a Packer fan, right? Yeah. But they lost one game to the Dolphins. We're the only team that ran an undefeated season, and they weren't even 17 or 16 games. It was like 14 games or something like that, right? Okay. The Patriots got close, but I think it's tough for that ever to happen again. And, now with salary cap and all of this other stuff going on, injuries, like, look at Tariq, right? I mean, that's a rough injury and a rough recovery. Or when Tua got dinged up, hey, not that the second string guy's not a good player. Obviously, he's in the league, but it's hard to replace a guy like that. And the team's like, hey, we're going deep in the playoffs to not even going to the playoffs. It's tough, and it's tough to say early. And there's so much parity now, and you get a team like, was it the Browns that who beat the Chargers this last week?
Giants.
That's right. Jackson Dart. Now, you see quarterback come out. Nobody's got any real NFL film on him. Mm-hmm. So when you watch film, I got to ask both of you this. I asked you this before. How much film do you watch on tendency, like what the quarterback's doing? Is licking his hands, he touching the towel. You know that he's going to throw, not throw. Like, is that stuff real? Like, are you guys looking at all that stuff?
Most definitely. Like, majority of the time we're looking at concepts, what route tree do they run, what kind of runs, inside zone, stuff like that. But there's sometimes receivers, like me being a DB, I'm looking at receivers majority of the time. Receivers give up tendencies on when they're getting the ball, what type of route they're running, if they're going in motion, if they're staying stationary. So like if let's say if his right foot is up, he's going to run like a dig. If his left foot is up, he's probably either going to go in motion or run like a shallow.
Yeah.
Or like if he looks to like the sideline and he like puts his mouthpiece in, he's finna get the ball. So like little tendencies like that, it definitely shows up, and you definitely try to catch it every now and then. I think like our D line against O linemen, they have like a what do they call it? A party or army call, basically like to see like if Joe, like a right tackle, like if he's standing straight up, it's probably gonna be pass. But if he has his hand on his knee, it's probably gonna be a run. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And does a coach, do they build a film tool for you to watch, or are you going through and how does that happen?
I think we just go through it and just see the the small little tendencies. And sometimes they're big. Like sometimes they do it every single time they're going to do something. So
I got a coverage question for you, but I want to ask you the same thing on film. Like, what are you guys looking at when you look at film, and what do you specifically pay attention to?
So for pass rush wise, I'm looking at their feet. Which foot's up? Can it be a 2-step move inside? Is it going to be a 4-step counter inside? Is he a spin guy? Does he throw his arm when he spins up so that you can tell he's going to go? Is it linebackers? Are they wide? If they're wide, they can have the C gap. He's going to spill you inside. If they're short or if they're inside, they could be penetration. So it just depends on what you're looking at. You always want to look at the safety, see if they're in cover 2 or man, so you can see where the pressure is going to come from if they're bringing it. So,
yeah, that's good stuff. Like, I don't think people that don't play, that just watch, they have no concept that all this preparation goes in, and But that's a whole nother discussion. There's a great YouTube video of Cam Newton talking about the pre-snap and all the different things that happen, and the play call to the play clock's running down, and then you're walking up, and the safety's rolling, and what he's thinking, and then he's got the hand signal and the whole like all this happened in like 25 seconds, right? And you got to be so prepared for that, like you do in everything else in life. But you guys, there's no place to hide. You got 40,000 people are coming to watch, and any mistake is magnified. Yeah. When you get as a safety, sometimes you're going to get manned up. Does that make you nervous or no?
Not anymore. I think like when I was transitioning to playing safety, I was a little nervous, but now I've been doing it for so long. So
you're a veteran now.
Yeah.
And how about you? You get some guy that you know is a rock star, and you're going to have him all night long. I mean, do you get nervous about it, or is it more of an exciting challenge?
More of an exciting challenge because it's like you get to go see what you're made of. It's a competitive battle. I think I'm the best, so let's go see what he's got.
Yeah. Camaraderie after the game, way different than it used to be. Like guys, nobody would, guys pray together now. You go and spend a little bit of time. There's more respect. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's because now we see more of the injuries. So, like, hey, we battled, but now we got through it. And there's a little bit of that. I don't know if it's, a little bit of the UFC mentality that people they get to see after, where before game was over, cut to commercial, on to the next game. Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Like, I know you both respect the game, but that guy that's across from you, I mean, when you're playing him, you want to beat his ass.
Exactly.
But at the same point, if he weren't there, you couldn't play, right? I mean, you feel that respect's kind of mutual. I mean, is it for the most part, or do you think that there's guys that are just like,
yeah, there's definitely guys that just won't respect you, whether any circumstance. But you always have to respect the game. Like, I always respect it, but never fear your opponent. And so I think that was one huge thing I was taught by some of my college coaches. Like, always respect your opponent, but never fear him.
Yeah. How about you?
I think respect your opponent. They're coming to do the same thing you're trying to do to them. Like, you're trying to go hit them hard, they're trying to hit you twice as hard. So it's respect thing.
When you're done playing, what do you want people to remember about you?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll let you take that one first.
Okay. What I want people to remember me as, just like a hardworking player. I train my butt off, especially when I'm back at home. Especially when we're going through off season. Like, I train super hard to be able to perform on the field, and show my family that, you didn't send me all the way out here to California for no reason. So, just to show people that I train hard, I'm a hardworking player, and I truly, truly love the game. Yeah.
That's good. And I think that's important. And that pride, pride in your family, the team name's on the front of the jersey, that your name's on the back of the jersey.
Yeah.
And that, and your parents, I was at an NFL game, and I was with the father of one of the quarterbacks, and win the game, and you could see the dad. The son couldn't see the dad's reaction, but I was standing there, right? And you can feel that. And when you guys are out there, that it exists. You don't see it, but it's important. Yeah. Your brothers will remember this. Your parents will remember this whole thing. How about you? Now we go back to you.
I'd say
he saved you.
Yeah.
A guy who brings others along, a hard worker, and someone who can coaches can lean on to get your guys going.
Yeah.
You have to get the O-line going. Like, hey, we got to get them going. We got to count on y'all to run the ball. It's going to be on your guys' back this week. I can go get that done.
Yeah. All right. So I can't leave without talking a little helmet stuff, Chop, with you guys.
Yep.
So what were you wearing before? And, obviously I'm sitting here and it does say light helmets right here, but, what's your gut? Like, what do you think? Because there's people that are like, fuck no, I'm not wearing that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when you wear it, right? So if somebody asks you why you're wearing it, I mean, what would you say?
It's a lot lighter. You don't have a brick on your head, first of all. I used to wear a flex, so it used to be heavy. It's different going into games with a heavier helmet, lighter helmet. Lineman already weighs a lot. Yeah. So you take the pounds off you. it don't hurt at all. Like it's a regular, feels better than the other helmets. So your head's safe, and it's just a great helmet in general.
Comfortable, cool.
Comfortable, great,
Yeah.
cool. It's hot already in the Mesa. Doesn't make it any hotter.
Yeah, that's a good description. How about you? Because this is your second year in it.
Second year in it, yeah.
And didn't you like after you're going to wear a light end up in a shut and you got dinged or something? I don't remember the whole story.
Yeah, so I was in the F7 and we played in Hawaii and I ended up getting concussion. I ended up getting knocked out and I was in the F7. And then, after that year, I ended up getting the light helmet and, I've hit numerous people hard as I can and haven't felt anything. It literally fits like a hat, the air, like the little, what do you call it?
Oh, those plush
the
pads.
cushion, the cushion in there, it feels great. It literally fits like a glove. So love the helmet.
Yeah.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Well, we're proud having you guys. So the funny story, we already talked about this, but so last year I'm at a game with my girlfriend and I text you, hey, I'm coming to the game.
Mm-hmm.
The game starts at like 7:25. It's like 7:17. I text Deshawn. I'm like, hey, I'm at the game, da-da-da-da-da. And I don't think I'm going to hear from him until after the game. It's like 6 minutes before kickoff. He texts me back. He's like, hey, you're here. It was so funny. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You're supposed to be focused on the game.
Yeah, we was just getting in. We were just getting in from warm up, and usually I'd put my headphones back on and start listening to music. And that was the first notification I saw. So I was like, let me go ahead and text him back before I get locked in. Yeah.
I love it. Well, a couple things. One, we couldn't be more proud to have you guys as part of the company, part of the team, representing us not only on field but off. You're new to us. We're excited. You great kid. I love all the things that you have to say. This is a long-term thing of having you guys involved and part of this, but you guys are playing well, and it's one of those things that you are the people that you have around, and you guys we're excited that you chose to wear the helmet. We're also excited to have you involved with the company, and thanks for being here today and answering all these crazy old man questions. But the reality is, just like your brothers, there's so many other kids that are out there, and sometimes they don't know the answer to these questions. So you guys coming in and having this, it'll make a difference, and it might make a difference to 10 kids, 100 kids, 5 kids. We don't know that, but it does make a difference, and appreciate you taking the time to do that today. So thanks, both of you guys, for being here and kick some ass on Friday.
Yes,
I'll be there.
Yes,
I promise I won't run out on the field with the light flag, but maybe.